Good evening. I hereby call to order the June 24th, 2020 meeting of the Gaithersburg Historic District Commission. For the record, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this meeting is being remotely telecast, so please bear with any of the bumps in the road that we encounter tonight. For our roll call, please answer present when I call your name. Deputy City Attorney Frank Johnson.
Present, thank you.
Community Planning Lead Greg Mann.
Present.
Commissioner Mary Jo LaFrance.
Present.
Commissioner and Vice Chairman John Roddy.
Present.
Commissioner, oh, I'm sorry, we're expecting another commissioner. Okay, Planner 2, Chris Berger.
Present.
And myself, Commissioner and Chairman Ventola says present. Okay, we have a quorum.
And Chair Ventola, we have been joined by Commissioner Morgan.
Oh, wonderful. Commissioner Morgan, please say present.
Present.
Wonderful, welcome. I love that smiling face. All right, okay, so Commissioner Morgan's role tonight is a full commissioner, and that always helps our.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Okay, so if you don't want to add anything, feel free not to. All right, no problem, no problem. Okay, next is our preliminary statement, which is as follows. This commission is empowered to meet and act under Article 12 of the City Code of Gaithersburg. The technical qualifications of the staff of this commission and the members of this commission are on file with the City of Gaithersburg, are available on request to any applicant, and are hereby made a part of the legal record of each and every application heard today. Each application heard today is considered on its own merits and is not to be considered as establishing a precedent for any other application. Okay, next is conflicts of interest. Does anyone have any conflicts of interest for any of the items you're going to be talking about tonight? If so, please raise your hand and then say something like, I may have a conflict. Mary Jo, please.
I don't have a conflict per se, but I do want to disclose that the application for 104 Chestnut Street is my neighbor.
Okay.
But although we live in the same neighborhood, that won't affect any decisions I make tonight.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else want to have any declaration or thoughts? No? Okay, very good. All right. Next then is we have one set of minutes, which is from last month's May 27th, 2020 meeting. Does any commissioner have any corrections or additions they would like to see made before we vote on it? And I see no one. Okay, very good. All right. So if please raise your hand. Oh, I'm so sorry. I call for a motion to adopt the minutes.
So moved.
All right, second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, please raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, I see one raised, but I heard three people. Okay, so that would be 3 ayes. I'm going to abstain since I was not at the last meeting. By the way, I watched and you guys did fantastic. I felt like the fifth wheel at that point in time, so great job. Okay, next then is, the minutes pass, obviously. I guess 3-2-0-2-1. Next then we have the Historic Area Work Permit, which is HIST-8510-2020, which is to remove aluminum siding and shutters and replace gutters and downspouts at 104 Chestnut Street in the R90 medium density residential zone. May we have introduction from staff?
Yes, if the tech team can please pull up page 10.
Right now, I'm going to need to swipe. I think.
Okay, the subject property at 104 Chestnut Street is zoned R90, medium density residential. Built in about 1879, the French Second Empire Revival style building is known as the Martha A. Meme House, and it's contributing to the Chestnut Meme Historic District. The application comes before the HDC in accordance with section 24-227A of the City Code. The applicant, Mr. Peter Ernst of Wentworth Incorporated, has submitted a Historic Area Work Permit application, HIST 8510-2020, seeking HDC approval to remove the aluminum siding, trim, and shutters, and to restore the wood siding, trim, doors, and windows at 104 Chestnut Street. The applicant also seeks to install half-round gutters and rounded downspouts. We can go to page 10, or page 11, I'm sorry. First, we have some historical photos of the property, and these are compliments of Commissioner LaFrance. This is how the house looked in about 1890, and note the presence of the German wood siding, and we also have rounded downspouts. If we can go to the next page, page 12. Here's another photo of the building that partially shows the house in the background. If we can go to page 13. And now we have our modern views. This is the front facade. If we can go to page 14. And here's another view of the front facade with that one-story addition on the left side. If we can go to the next page, 16. And here is the left side elevation and a closer view of the one-story addition. If we can go to the next page, please. And on page 16, this is the rear elevation. And page 17, please. And here's the right side elevation. And we can see a little bit in the foreground of the porch. If we can go to the next page, page 18. And here's a close-up of the front facade. And now if we can go to page 19, these are the plans. The first that we have is a basic floor plan. And the next page, page 20. And this is the front elevation. And page 21. This is the right side elevation. Next page, page 22. This is the rear elevation. And page 23. This is the left side elevation. And next, if we can go to page 24, the Chestnut Meme Historic District Guidelines apply. They note the following in regard to house design elements: that new, additional, and replacement construction work on existing houses should be compatible with the style descriptions of the contributing resources. And contributing resources are encouraged to restore their properties to the original features, or alternatively, to explore the full potential of the described style. Can we go to next page 25? And the guidelines state under materials, and I'll only read the relevant sections: the historic character of a property shall be retained and preserved. The removal of historic materials or alteration of features and spaces that characterize a property shall be avoided. Deteriorated historic features shall be repaired rather than replaced. Where the severity of deterioration requires replacement of a distinctive feature, the new feature shall match the old in design, texture, and other visual qualities, and where possible, materials. And replacement of missing features shall be substantiated by documentary, physical, or pictorial evidence. And continuing on the same page under siding, original siding is predominantly wood in the German lap or beveled lap styles. Many of the older homes would have been covered over with synthetic siding. It is strongly encouraged to remove synthetic siding and restore original. Synthetic siding, such as aluminum, vinyl, and others, is not acceptable because these materials are visually incompatible with the original distinct district materials and can negatively affect original features, such as windows and trim. We can go to the next page, page 26. And briefly, for windows and storm windows, retain, repair, and duplicate original sash, glass, and lintels. We can go to page 27. For shutters, many structures are equipped with shutters. It reads, when replacing or adding shutters to a structure, be sure that they appear to actually work. Vinyl shutters are decorative only and therefore cannot function as protection from the weather. Aluminum shutters do not resemble wood, dent easily, and wear quickly. And I'll stop reading there. So as for staff's recommendation, staff supports the proposed exterior improvements. The removal of the aluminum wood siding, trim, and shutters to restore the original siding and trim is specifically called for in the design guidelines, and it meets city code. replacement of the non-historic gutters and downspouts in favor of half-round gutters and rounded downspouts also is called for in the design guidelines and meets code. And I looked at the 1890 historical photo again since I wrote the staff report. It appears the building originally had the built-in gutters, which appear to have been removed. But staff still believes that half-round gutters are preferable to some of the more modern gutters that are found on the home today. And of course, the rounded downspouts will match what was there originally. And the other proposed work also adheres to the city code and design guidelines. Staff suspects that the building was wrapped in aluminum when the one-story south addition was constructed, and the bump out on the left side elevation may not be covered in wood siding. So staff seeks a condition that if upon the removal of the aluminum siding, it is discovered that wood siding is absent on that addition, the applicant is to work with staff to select a wood siding that is compatible with the covered wood siding, or the siding that's covered up right now that we hope still exists on the core of the house, but we hope that any new wood siding that's added to that addition is differentiated from what was originally there. And finally, staff encourages the property owner to return to the HDC in the future and seek approval to reinstall wood shutters, but also understands that it may not be financially possible at this time. So with that, we have joining us architect Mr. Peter Ernst of Wentworth Incorporated, if you have any questions.
First, welcome, Mr. Ernst.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you do those drawings that were submitted? Was that from you?
Well, our office did. Yeah, we're using some new software, and in the process of doing it.
They're beautiful. They're just stunning. Are they 3D? Because the shadows tell me
it is. It's a three-dimensional model, and what we're showing are really just the elevations.
I wish you put in the 3D model as an exhibit. I think that would be stunning.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Would you like to add anything to what Chris has already said?
Not really. I think that's pretty complete what he talked about, and you know, I just want to emphasize that, you know, once we remove the residing, the aluminum siding, that we're going to repair whatever's damaged, and if there's something that's really beyond repair, totally rotted, for example, we would replace it with in-kind kind of materials to match what's there already.
Okay, good. All right, next then is I'll just mention for the record regarding the public's turn to speak, which after you or the applicant speaks, it's their turn. But I understand that no one had requested to speak by today's 2 p.m. deadline. So with that, we'll then go to the commission itself, commissioners. And so when I call your name, commissioners, please state your thoughts and questions to the applicant. Okay, first we have Commissioner LaFrance.
I don't have any questions. I feel that this is an excellent way to preserve the integrity of such a grand home, and I thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Commissioner Roddy?
Yes, I also have no questions. I would just make the comment that I have a house of almost exact vintage, and I thoroughly appreciate the expense and the effort that'll be required to undo the remodeling that has occurred over the years. If I could say anything further, it would be God bless the applicant.
Wonderful. Okay. Commissioner Morgan mentioned that you didn't get a chance to review anything, and that's perfectly understandable because we thought we had others at the last minute decide other commissioners that couldn't attend. But you saw the photos. You don't have to comment at all if you don't want to, but if you have any thoughts, feel free.
Commissioner Morgan, you are on mute.
Sorry for that.
That's okay.
I don't have any comment, but I have a question. I need some clarification. Chris mentioned that the building is 1890 construction.
1879. The photo, we believe, is circa 1890.
1890, 1879. And originally it was a German wood siding.
That's
Right.
what it appears in the photo, yeah.
Okay, and the architect is proposing to use aluminum siding, right?
No, there's aluminum there now that got
Oh, it's
covered,
aluminum. So,
and he's proposing to remove the aluminum.
so to replace it in con, right?
Well, we're hoping, and I apologize, Chris, you can please explain. I apologize for jumping in. Feel free.
Oh, yes, right now it has aluminum siding. It was probably put on in the 50s or 60s. What we're hoping and is that the original German lap siding is underneath that aluminum siding. And Mr. Ernst, as he stated in his narrative, they've done some preliminary work to remove a small section of the aluminum siding, and it revealed that there is wood siding underneath there. So we're hoping that that is the case for the entire home.
Okay, all right, okay. That's all I have. Is a clarification.
Okay, then I'll be next and last. Can you, I guess, tech team, put up page 10 again for me? I said page 10. I meant page 11. Forgive me. Okay, Mary Jo, did you provide this picture? Is that what I understand?
Yes.
Wow, wow, fantastic. All right, I just want to say on behalf of the HDC, I shouldn't say on the entire HDC, but for at least for me, this is to me so significant of a picture. It really to me shows the essence of why we're a historic district commission. These people are so proud of their giant, beautiful, well-designed and detailed house. And that is so much part of Gaithersburg. So preserving buildings like this, and this photo really reinforces it. It just makes it all worthwhile in my mind. So, so that's it for me on that, other than I have one question, I guess, for the applicant. Chris kind of mentioned that the intent is to remove the siding and expose the remove the aluminum siding and expose the existing siding. Well, one of the things that came to my mind was what I guess it's a question. Did you guys do any exploration to confirm that the original wood siding is there in certain areas, or are you just assuming it's there? I'm just curious.
Well, we did a small section just to see what was underneath.
Oh, good. All right.
And we could see that there was wood siding underneath there.
The same German, you think?
Yeah, I think it's the same German siding. And but we didn't, for example, go up to the gables of the front where it has that kind of fan-like type of
the trim work and all
so
that.
I'm not quite sure what we're going to find there.
Yeah, the lace.
Our hope would be to replace it, you know, to rebuild it to make it look like that. But a lot of it all just comes down to a question of cost.
Yeah,
And, I know the owner would be interested in that, even interested in replacing the shutters. But the shutters might be awfully expensive to reproduce. You know, there is a possibility that slightly less of a wood composite still looks like wood. It's like wood. It just resists just a little bit cheaper, as I understand it. So we might entertain that idea, but as of now, we're not really. It's not in the scope of the project to replace them. We just would like to.
Well, that's wonderful. I mean, what you guys are proposing is terrific. An extremely necessary upgrade to get it back to the original condition. Aluminum siding is come and gone as far as even current technology is concerned. So that's wonderful. You're taking such a great stand or stance.
Yeah, it'll make a big difference. That siding, aluminum siding, is pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, well, it's loud and it just doesn't look good. Doesn't age well, I should say, particularly if it gets dented.
You're right. Yeah.
Well, Yeah, so, okay, well, that's wonderful. Okay, I don't have any other thoughts other than I think this is wonderful that you guys are proposing that. I do wonder if when they did put the aluminum siding, if they did mess up a lot of the existing just to be able to fasten it on, but we'll find out, I guess you'll find out.
We'll find out, right?
Okay, very good. All right, so now, does anyone have any commissioner have any other further thoughts that they want to throw in? If so, raise your hand. No? Okay, good. Then I guess I'll put it to a vote. For adopting the minutes as, I'm sorry, for adopting
Motion.
the motion. Thank you so much. Thank you. The motion as currently written. Does anybody want to add anything to that motion? And I see no one. Okay, very good. All right. So
You actually need to make a motion and then second. That's all. Just FYI.
Well, right. What I was saying is, does anybody want to add into that before we go to the vote? So, does anyone want to make a motion to adopt the approval of this? Yes, Mayor Joe.
I would like to move that we approve Historia Area Work Permit HIST 8510-2020, including any conditions, because I believe
There was one condition, I
Chris,
thought.
there was one
right?
condition.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do we want to read it into the record?
Right, hang on one second here. That the Historic District Commission, based on the exhibits submitted, the applicant's testimony, and the staff report, findings and recommendations, grant HIST 8510-2020, restore wood siding and gutters and downspouts, finding it to be in compliance with 24227.2 of the city code with one condition. And is there a condition here? Hang on. Just 1 second here.
Take your time.
I'm sorry, I'm not finding the condition.
I can read it. I can read the condition.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
If wood siding is not present on the additions, the applicant is to work with staff to select a wood siding that is compatible with the existing but differentiated.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chris. Okay, what I'm going to do now is call for a vote, and I'll call individual names. And so if
You probably should have a second. See if you have a second.
thank you,
I will
sir.
second it.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, so if you for the voting, aye, nay, or abstain as far as approving the application. So Commissioner LaFrance, aye, nay, or abstain.
Aye.
Okay, Commissioner Rye.
Aye.
Commissioner Morgan, would you like to vote? You want to vote, or you are?
Yes,
approving it?
I'll vote, yeah.
I vote, right, for both. I know, I was teasing. And myself, Commissioner Ventola says aye. So there we have it. The ayes have it. I believe 3-2, nope, I think that's 4-0, right?
That is correct.
Congratulations, Mr. Axton. And good luck to you. We hope you find lots of original wood under there. Lots of it.
Thank you. Yep, we do too.
Thank you. Thank you for stopping by. Okay, next then is, I understand that we have no tax credit applications and no courtesy reviews. Is that correct,
That
Chris?
is correct, yes.
Wonderful. Okay, next then is from staff. Do you guys have any thoughts? I guess we can start with Chris.
Sure. I wanted to thank you all for attending the MAHDC virtual training on June 11th. I don't know how you all feel, but Kirsty, the trainer, and Sheila Bashiri, my colleague from Rockville, thought it went very well, and online may be preferable going forward to ease the travel burden for everyone.
I agree with that. I never thought I would love sitting here, not going down to all different places, but I've come to enjoy it, at least for, traveling to these other places. I still like Gaithersburg, so I still look forward to that, but that was really nice. I thought it was wonderful.
That's all I have.
Okay, Greg, would you like to add anything?
I have nothing to add tonight.
Okay, Frank?
I would just say that to comment a little bit as to Mr. Chair, what you just said, and what Chris also indicated as we're going through different versions of open meetings and trainings. For many organizations that are statewide, and even for our own work here in the city, we are finding that some of what we're learning with the virtual environment may not just go away once at some point. We do get beyond this current pandemic crisis, but will be some tools that we keep around just to save costs, make ourselves even more available to people. And certainly for when you have people on a statewide basis, Maryland's a big state. When you consider Garrett County and the Eastern Shore, there's a lot of distance there. So what we're learning will be useful long-term is my.
Oh, I agree. That would be great not to spend a 3-hour trip for a half-hour meeting. Wonderful. Okay. Next thing, commission. Does anybody have any thoughts? Raise your hand. Do you want to add anything to tonight before we go? Yes, Mary Jo.
I just wanted to say that if it's a lecture that is HDC training, that's fine to do it virtually, but I don't want us to miss opportunities to travel to other historic districts, because I think that's really important.
That's a great idea.
And I've missed, back in the day, we used to travel an awful lot for these kinds of trainings and saw a lot of towns, church tours, all kinds of wonderful things. So if we have opportunities to do so again, I think we should.
That's a great idea, because I remember we did travel to a couple of little towns, and it was wonderful to see. I agree. So, all righty. Anybody else? Any other commissioners want to throw in? John? No. Rudy?
No comment.
Anybody else before we adjourn? No? Okay. This was a quick meeting. It's not a record, but it's very welcome. Good night, everybody. We are here adjourned.
All right. Okay, bye-bye.